Welcome back to Unstoppable You Now, where we explore timeless fables that unlock the deepest secrets of courage and personal growth. Deep within a vibrant green forest, a small and energetic rabbit hopped along the path, searching eagerly for his morning breakfast. He was hungry and determined to find the most delicious food the forest could offer, listening carefully to the whispering wind. Suddenly, his eyes sparkled with joy as he spotted a perfect bright orange carrot resting near the edge of the flowing river. But as he reached out to grab his prize, it slipped from his paws and rolled straight into the rushing water. Disappointed and hungry, the poor rabbit watched his breakfast disappear, sighing heavily as he turned back toward the safety of home. He finally returned to his cozy burrow, looking forward to a rest. But he noticed strange tracks leading into the darkness. A shiver ran down his spine as he sensed an intruder inside his home, hiding within the deep and silent shadows. Gathering every ounce of his courage, the little rabbit called out into the dark void, asking who was occupying his home. A booming voice echoed from the deep shadows, claiming it could crush the bones of a rhinoceros and trample a massive elephant. Terrified by this monstrous declaration, the rabbit scrambled backward and fled into the forest, desperate to find someone strong to help. He stumbled upon a wolf, a fierce hunter of the woods, and begged him to remove the terrible monster from his home. The wolf laughed at the rabbit's fear, showing his sharp teeth and promising to chase away the intruder with a single growl. They marched back to the burrow, the wolf strutting with pride, while the rabbit followed cautiously, hoping his home would be reclaimed. Standing at the entrance, the wolf unleashed a mighty howl, commanding the unseen stranger to leave the rabbit's house at once. But the voice boomed back even louder, threatening to snap the wolf's spine like a twig and crush him into dust. Overcome with sudden terror, the wolf tucked his tail between his legs and sprinted away, leaving the poor rabbit alone again. Desperate but not defeated, the rabbit sought the help of the tiger, the striped king of the jungle, known for strength. The tiger listened to the plea and rose gracefully, assuring the rabbit that no creature could withstand his mighty claws and roar. With silent steps, the tiger approached the dark opening, his eyes burning with intensity, ready to strike fear into the intruder. However, the voice from the deep thundered again, claiming it would flatten the tiger like a rug without a second thought. Shocked by such a bold threat, the tiger's courage vanished instantly, and he fled into the bushes to save his own life. Running out of options, the rabbit turned to the rhinoceros, whose thick skin and sharp horn were feared by almost everyone. The rhinoceros snorted heavily, stomping the ground and promising to charge the cave and drive out the monster with brute force. He charged towards the burrow with immense power, ready to smash through any obstacle that stood in his way. But the voice shouted that it would snap the rhino's horn like a dry twig and toss him aside effortlessly. The rhinoceros froze in sheer terror, realizing he might be outmatched, and galloped away as fast as his heavy legs could go. With tears in his eyes, the rabbit finally went to the elephant, the largest and strongest creature in the entire kingdom. The elephant trumpeted loudly, assuring the little rabbit that no creature, no matter how scary, could stand against his massive weight. He approached the burrow, his giant shadow covering the entrance, ready to trample whatever dared to threaten his small friend. Yet, the voice echoed with chilling confidence, declaring it would crush the elephant into dust before he could take another step. Terrified by the unseen power, the elephant panicked and fled, the ground shaking as he ran away from the mysterious voice. Now all the mighty animals stood together at a safe distance, trembling and helpless against a foe they had never even seen. Just then, a small green frog hopped by and saw the gathering. He asked curiously why such powerful beasts were so afraid. The animals laughed at the frog telling him that if the elephant and tiger had failed, the tiny frog had no chance. But the frog ignored their mockery. With a determined look in his eyes, he hopped bravely toward the dark and silent burrow. He stood at the entrance, puffed up his chest, and shouted loudly, demanding to know who was hiding inside his friend's home. The voice boomed back its usual threats. But the frog stood his ground, refusing to let fear control his actions or thoughts. "I am the frog who fears nothing," he declared, and with a mighty leap, he jumped straight into the darkness of the cave. Outside, the forest fell silent. The mighty animals held their breath, waiting for the inevitable sound of the frog being crushed. Inside the cave, the frog landed and looked around. As his eyes adjusted, he saw the source of the terrifying booming voice. It was not a monster, but a tiny caterpillar. The shape of the cave had echoed his small voice, making it sound huge. The frog burst into laughter, realizing that the creature that had scared the tiger and elephant was just a harmless little bug. He dragged the caterpillar out into the sunlight. The tiny creature blinked, completely unaware of the panic he had caused everyone. The wolf, tiger, rhino, and elephant stared in disbelief. Their faces turned red as they realized they had run from a bug. The caterpillar apologized, explaining he was just looking for a nap. And the cave's echo had turned his squeaks into thunder. Laughter erupted through the forest. The fear that had paralyzed them vanished instantly, replaced by relief and a sense of silliness. The rabbit thanked the brave frog profusely. He had his home back, and more importantly, he had learned a valuable lesson. This story teaches us that we should never ignore small problems, for they can grow into terrifying monsters in our minds. Fear often makes things appear much worse than they truly are. Shadows can look like giants until we shine a light. It also takes true courage to face our problems. While others ran away, the frog dared to confront the unknown head-on. Strength is not just about size or muscles. Real power comes from a brave heart and the willingness to seek truth. Running away never solves the problem. It only delays the solution and allows the fear to grow stronger within us. By facing the issue directly, we can strip away the illusions and find that the reality is often manageable and harmless. So next time you face a booming voice in the dark, remember the frog and the caterpillar, and choose courage